If you ever get side stitches when you're running, that pain in your like ribs or stomach area, I have some strategies that I think have helped me with this. I spent some time Googling side stitches, and basically we don't know exactly where they come from. There's a couple like theories, and I'm going to talk about some of that today. But I have something that when I do it, it works, I would say close to 100% of the time, or if it doesn't work the first time around while I'm running, I do it again and maybe a third time, and typically it seems to work. And so let's talk about side stitches and what I do to handle them while I'm in the middle of a run. No one likes to, one, feel them, and two, like have to stop running, right? You're in the middle of a run, you're on a time crunch or whatever, you have a goal, and so it does definitely hold you back, and especially in a race, like I probably experienced this the most during like a 5K or 10K when I'm trying to PR a race. It's not ideal, obviously, and so we need to find a way to work on this, and my uncle explained it to me this way. This was at least what I remember a couple years ago. This was his theory of like stale oxygen is I think the way he put it. And basically the idea that you haven't like exhaled all the way, or you're lacking oxygen, or something to that effect. And he taught me the strategy that works for him, and it works for me now, is when you're running, one way to kind of reduce the risk of this happening is to make sure you're breathing fully, right? And so working on your form with running is not just foot placement or cadence. I would include breathing into that. And maybe your form is great mechanically, but you're realizing you have shallow breath, or you're not breathing as much as you should, or exhaling everything out. And so that takes some time and attention. And I think if you do that, you're going to reduce your risk. And as I focused on my breathing more, I don't have these as often. And there's another thing I've done to kind of prevent these. But as far as like in the moment when I'm dealing with the side stitch, this is what my uncle taught me, is breathing in, like whatever breath you're on, you breathe in, and then you exhale all the way out and hold it for a couple of seconds. And I've experimented with this a little bit, and what I try and do is 3 times in a row, I'll exhale, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale as much as I can, super deep breath, exhale, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, exhale, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then continue breathing properly, or as deep as you can, or as smooth as you can while you're running. And that typically makes it go away for me. I don't know why that is. I don't know if this would work for everyone, but it happens to help me when I have side stitches. And sometimes I might get a side stitch like a minute or two in after already getting rid of it, and so it just do it again. And after enough times, it seems like that goes away. Sure, you might have to slow down. And I'll be honest, when you're trying to hold your breath, even if you're not running like a tempo pace, right? It's an easy run. It sucks because you need the oxygen and you're already using up what you have. And so it's very uncomfortable. I either have to slow down, or you mentally really just have to get through those 3 cycles, or not. I do 3 cycles. Maybe you could do it on 1 cycle. And that seems to help me. Like truly, side stitches are not a concern for me. I know for some runners, they just constantly get them. And this is a strategy that helps me in the moment. Now, on top of that, here's some theory out there on what can help prevent these, and I'm sure this has been a part of why I don't get them, is a lot of core work. And so yes, work on your breathing, make sure you're breathing fully and doing that whole thing. But I spend a lot of time working on my core, and I think you can find just a couple exercises and either do a core workout. What I do is currently I'm lifting 3 times a week, and I do a different core exercise at the end of each of those workouts. So I do push-pull legs, and at the end I'll do either hanging leg raises, I'll either do cable crunches, or I'll do planks. And if I remember right, when I was training for my sub 3 hour marathon 3 years ago, something like that, I was doing a ton of planks, and I think at that point I stopped noticing side stitches as much. And every once in a while they come up, it reminds me to breathe, and then I do that strategy I already talked about in the moment, and that seems to help. So a couple takeaways is make sure you're breathing, and you're focusing on your breathing form, if you will. You do your core exercises. A strong core is only going to help you with running, helps you maintain your effort, stay upright, and I think helps prevent side stitches. And then also in the moment, you can do that little bit of a cycle. It might take you a couple of times, but I think the key is exhaling as much as possible. It's going to be uncomfortable, especially if you're continuing to run. It's going to exhale as much as possible, and you hold it for a little bit. I like to count to 5 in my head. And so hopefully that gives a short little video, but there's not much to talk about with this. I think it's pretty simple and it seems to work for me. So I hope that helps you, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And if you like running content, that's what this channel is about, so consider subscribing. And if not, I still hope you got something out of it so you can pursue your running goals and get better at that whole thing. So I hope I get to see you in another video sometime soon. Peace.